So at one point you were a wedding singer, right? How
Yeah.
did that happen?
How do you know this? Oh my God. Um,
I do my research. I do my research real well.
wow, you do. Yeah, so I worked for a company in a live entertainment company in New York City. Um, and that was cool for a time. You would think that as a singer that like, oh my God, I like you just love it every time. When you're forced to sing at upscale, not forced, there was a choice. When you got to sing at really upscale weddings all the time and you're told what to sing and then you're put in a box and all kinds of stuff. And the funny thing about that company is, and I'm glad you're talking about, I need to talk about this. So the owner of that company, for whatever reason, when I came on the scene, I guess I threatened her. I remember her having really nervous energy around me. So it started making me nervous, because I'm an empath and I just absorb energy. And I'm just like, oh my God, now I'm nervous. Like, why am I nervous around her? And
Wait. But you're also an Aries, right?
yes,
So you got that fieriness that can be, a little scary to some people.
you're right. You're right. People do say I come off intimidating sometimes. And I'm like, okay, all right. I don't really see that because I feel like I'm me, but I can't see from the outside perspective. So, there was, we were shooting a promo video for the company. She like had me show up in this Latin ballroom dress that I had covered in Swarovski crystals, like a $7,000 dress. We had a whole studio. The whole band was there, the crane, the camera. And I performed, I did my thing. And we had a party a few weeks later, and everybody that had shot a promo video in the company, all their videos were shown at the party except mine. And I didn't know why. I didn't understand why they didn't show my video. And it made me think that I underperformed and that I didn't meet the standards. So in my mind, I started to mentally decline because I didn't have any answers. So my performance in the company also started to decline, coupled with her nervous energy. On top of it, she was just always, it was just weird, and in retrospect, a lot of wedding singers are frustrated people that didn't make it. And especially when you're older and you see someone that has that potential, she basically shit on me in a very backhanded way. I remember at one gig, she pulled me over to the side after and she was like, "You look amazing and you sing on key." And that crushed my soul for her to say that to me. So after that is when it really started to decline. And then a year later, after I was all messed up in the head, one of the other employees in the company told me that clients book off of my promo video.
Wow.
And that I'm still recovering from all that. You know what I mean? Because this has to do with my self-identity and who I am, not necessarily working a job or nothing, you know what I mean? But like who I am, who I know to be, it tampered with that identity. So
why did that kill you to hear her say that? I mean, essentially she was complimenting you, right?
it was a backhanded compliment. I'm an empath. I know when someone's saying some sly shit.
Gotcha. Okay. I got you. Okay. And so did you ever have a conversation with her to be like, hey, like what's going on?
We did end up having a conversation at one point. It was a little bit before I left. And again, you cannot come to a resolution with someone who has not resolved something in themselves.
Facts.
So at that point, I just had to leave the company.
And what year are we talking about for this?
2019. February 2019.
Oh, okay. So not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy doing that though? I know that it kind of made you question like your self-worth to an extent because of the people were not right.
I enjoyed it for a while, but then after, I'm like, yo, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to be a fucking wedding singer, you know?
Right.
But I'll tell you, it gave me the opportunity to meet like a lot of dope musicians, like ones who are on tour with everybody, with all the top artists, work for that company when they're not on tour too. So, you know, being able to play with them and all that, I had some really great gigs, you know what I mean? But then there was some times where she fucked with my head, and it's, you know, it's just what happened.
At this time, did you have any songs recorded?
Yeah, I mean, I had been recording songs for years, you know, but I'd never released anything. So my first release was in 2018. It was when I was working for that company.
Gotcha. And what made you even want to go into being a wedding singer at that time?
I didn't. I was getting called for 2 years from one of my mentors. And I was like, Willie, I'm not a wedding singer, bro. I'm an artist. 2 years. Finally, I needed to pay some bills living in New York City.
Oh, it's
So,
expensive. It's
yes.
expensive.